On tonight's show, not only the coolest rapper in the world or the hunkiest wrestler turned movie star, but two of the most famous TV doctors. I tell you, I feel a bit faint. What I need is some over-the-top whooping and cheering. I feel better already. Let's start the show! My couch runneth over. Seriously, this must be one of our best lineups ever. For the first time, the one and only George Clooney on our show. Yes! Wrestler turned Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is here. Homegrown superstar Dr. House himself, Hugh Laurie is on our show. BAFTA-winning star of W1A, the wonderful Jessica Hynes is here. Rising Hollywood star, the wonderful Britt Robertson is on this show. Plus, yeah, there's more. We've got music from hip-hop legend Snoop Dogg. Wow! That should be enough, right? That should do it, shouldn't it? I think that's it. I think we've got a show there, yes. Hey, yay! And a very warm welcome to double Oscar winner George Clooney. I tell you, he has starred and directed so many great films. I think you all loved him in the epic sci-fi movie Gravity. Floating in space, miles above the Earth. I wonder, have any of my other guests ever been that high? I can smell something. How excited am I to meet Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, ladies and gentlemen? Such a big Hollywood star. Here he is as Hercules. Hercules, look at him there. So hard, he doesn't even realize he's been eaten by a lion. Dwayne, of course, shot to fame as a wrestler. He was The Rock. Whoa. I tell you, as The Rock, he had so many deadly rivals. You know, like paper, scissors. What are the chances, ladies and gentlemen, that I would have not one, but two of the greatest TV doctors of all time? You know, Hugh Laurie, yeah, I've got House. And George Clooney, I've got a semi. You know, George Clooney's Dr. Ross was so good-looking, I bet women would pretend to be ill just to see him. You know, go, oh, Dr. Ross, I think my throat hurts. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Ross, can you just check my chest? Yeah. Oh, Dr. Ross, I might have sprained my ankle. But of course, ladies, out of luck, because last year George got married in Venice to the wonderful Amal. So romantic. Is there any way that day could have been more perfect? I do! Let's get the dress on! Later we'll be joined by Jessica Hynes, Snoop Dogg, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But first, there's a Dr. House in the house. It's Hugh Laurie! Hey! Oh, you know what? This way. There he goes, sir. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. I'm gonna sneak that up in the air, dude. This Britt's got talent. It's Britt Robertson! To the show. Welcome to Britain. Have a seat, dude. And by George, we finally got him. It is the fabulous George Clooney. Yeah. Sit down. Oh, you picked a good night, huh? You picked a good night. Yeah. Oh,
what's this? What is this?
I believe, is that your own tequila?
Is it tequila? Then I'm happy.
Is that good health?
Listen, before we start, I had last year castmates, Bill Murray, Matt Damon, and Hugh Bonneville come on the show.
Yes.
And they left the premiere, I left them drunk. And they got here, and they got drunker. And I've never seen a television show like that in my life.
We never had one like that before. Because they arrived drunk and they got drunker. By the end, it was like, I'm really glad the show's over now.
They were throwing fruit at the audience.
Bill Murray threw a whole pineapple into the audience. It could have ended badly.
That's like a challenge.
No.
What will you throw?
I'm gonna throw Britt at the audience.
So you're very welcome, all of you. And it's like George Clooney. I feel like the party can start. The party can start. George Clooney's here.
Yeah.
And thank you for using my whole name. Because I usually, you know, I like George Clooney.
We all like George Clooney.
I have a new couple of nephews who are like 7 years old who I've now married into, and they come up to me and they go, "Hey, George Clooney." Not Uncle George. I'm George Clooney.
I'm with them. George seems over-familiar, so I'm just George.
No, anything. Sir George. I don't care. Anything.
Because everyone who works with you, they always say you make work fun. Is that?
I didn't say that.
You didn't
no,
say
no, I didn't say that.
I did not.
Yes, you did. You said people. Actually, it sounds kind of annoying. You said people whistled on their way to work when George was on set.
Well, I whistled. Yeah, no, he does. He's the man that. No, come on. You are.
Let me just say, we had a lot of doctor talk between us.
We did.
There was a lot of.
I didn't understand any of it, but we did have it.
I was surprised you didn't remember. You didn't remember any of it. None of it.
No, he remembers whole reams of stuff, which from considerably longer ago, and I cannot remember any of it. I could remember it 10 minutes after I've said it.
So the gobbledygook about half a statin, blah, 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 you know all that.
What was that really long word that you would say?
Supraventricular tachyarrhythmia.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I'll tell you this.
So good.
When we shot that scene, I did not get that word right. But I've never gotten it wrong since then. It was a horrifying experience. But I do, yeah, I think that. How long did you do the show?
8 years.
8 years, and you don't remember any of it.
Yep. I tell you, the one thing I have carried over from then is when I do play another role now and a director says action, I start limping. I'm just like a sort of a dog who's had electrodes attached to him. I suddenly start limping.
Default.
Did you ever switch canes just to
throw people?
Just throw people off?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did. I switched games, I switched limps. Nobody noticed.
No, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care.
And Britt, if you had to choose, I mean, I don't wish you ill, but if
no.
something bad did happen, if you were feeling a bit
Don't make her
poorly,
choose.
Between the doctors?
yeah, who would you go to? Would you go to Dr. House there?
Well, it depends on the illness because you were great with like specialty issues, right? You would
Yes.
always
Oh,
find,
yeah.
you would figure out
Yeah,
the
it was
problem.
pigeon poo from Africa or something. Always within. Yeah.
I don't remember. If you say so.
You were on a show called How?
You know this. No, I think because you would always look, you would look past the obvious choice, the obvious diagnosis. So I don't know. He may have a one-up on you.
Oh, he does, because I was a pediatrician, so you're too old.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you did the pass. I don't care.
This is the right choice for me. I think. Yeah.
Just keep pushing that gurney. She's not stopping here. Because the thing about, I suppose, your career, you were an actor and you were doing well. You were in things. You know, you had a career that lots of actors would have liked to have had. You know, being in TV shows and making a living.
Right. Well, later in my life, it took a long time to get there. I did a lot of very questionable jobs.
But they were jobs.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and then, but then ER came along, and
everything changed.
yeah, and I read that if you can pinpoint the moment when you sort of stopped being a jobbing actor, and
That's a good look.
that was the moment.
I always love when they show that picture and then they cut back to you and they're like, oh.
Don't applaud that. Don't applaud that.
It's the truth. They were like this. Oh, no. Stop.
Oh, fine, sir.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, I remember a moment, because, you know, there's a moment when, you know, getting famous is when they actually know your name. And I remember being in New York, I think, after, because, you know, the show came out and people forget about what the kind of numbers our show did. But in the United States, we had shows we did 45 million people watching. You know, now the biggest show will do 15 or 20, 18 million people. We were averaging 35 and 40 million people. So it was overnight one of those everyone was just obsessed with the show. We were on the cover of Newsweek after about 2 weeks. So we'd gone from absolute obscurity, you know, no one knew who we were. In fact, we shot the pilot and the show was picked up and we went across the street. There's a place called Smokehouse, which is a restaurant, to eat. It was like, all the actors, Tony Edwards, Juliana Margulies, all of us, and we're dressed in our doctor schmucks because we're doing a show. But the show hasn't been on the air yet. And Tony has a little baby boy who he gives a French fry to, and he starts like to choke on the French fry. And now you've got 6 actors, not a and we're like, somebody do something! And everybody in the restaurant's like, do something! wrong with you people?
Yeah, never go to that hospital.
No.
That's a terrible hospital. And now, the three of you are on the couch because you are all in this big Disney movie, Tomorrowland, A World Beyond. It opens tonight, and it's sort of a big, optimistic fantasy adventure. Is that
Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, sounds great.
Yep,
You?
yep, yeah, I'm
Anything?
with that.
Yeah.
And Britt, you do hold the whole story together. You
I do
bring
some
these
acting,
characters
yes,
together.
yeah.
So tell us about it.
Okay.
You do the work.
Yes, exactly. Here I go again. So the work.
Hold on, hang on, a little shot.
No, the movie. Well, I play a young girl named Casey Newton, and she's just normal high school student in Florida, and she has this very unique perspective on the world. You know, she's an optimist. She's looking. She's a dreamer, and she's hoping for good things in her life, and no one around her seems to be doing that. And because of her very unique perspective, she gets to go to Tomorrowland. She meets this guy, and she.
It's got a slightly different flavour.
I know. Your character's a bit questionable.
Listen, Hugh Laurie.
And that's the story. Go see the movie. That's all I have for you.
But the Tomorrowland of you build it. It's your job.
I personally built it.
Yeah, you did a lovely job.
Thank you.
It's nicely finished.
I had no help. Yes, it is the creation of a character called David Nix, who has very particular ideas about the shaping of the future world. Yeah.
And in Disneyland, there is a Tomorrowland.
Yes, there is.
And is it true, this story about them pitching the movie to you with the old bit of archive that they found?
Oh, yeah, they showed up. Brad Bird, who's this wonderful writer-director who, the first film was Iron Giant, and then did The Incredibles and Ratatouille, incredibly talented. And I always wanted to work with him. And he said, I've got a script for you. And first of all, by the way, he said, I wrote a part for you. And I said, oh, great. And he sent it to me, and I read the description. It says, 50-year-old bitter has-been. You wrote that for me.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you. Former TV doctor. Thank you. But then they showed up at the house, he and Damon, and they brought this box. It said 1952 on it, which was the original title of the film. And he opens up this box, and it has all this futuristic stuff from 1952, as you can imagine. Looks like the Jetsons inside, everything. And then he pulls out the original blueprint. They put on gloves. There's an original blueprint of Tomorrowland, which is the ride in an area of Disneyland. And I was like, well, that's, okay, it's a blueprint. That's fantastic. I'm thrilled. And then they pulled out a big blacklight tube, and they went over it like this, and there was an entire other blueprint of another to be built underneath Tomorrowland of a whole other world. And it was incredible. Now, they never built it. They never ended up doing it, but it's what gave these guys the idea of what to do with this film and how to write the film. It was a really interesting thing.
And of course, the other thing the film's full of is amazing kind of gadgets and gizmos. And in this clip we're going to watch, Britt's character, you're trying to escape George's house when it comes under attack. Hence, many, many gizmos.
How is this a good idea?
That clip sells the movie.
Blind bathtub.
You want to see that movie. I mean, that's just
blind bathtub.
yeah, let's go see that. Because there's lots of big action sequences. And now, I never quite understand this, but I read somewhere, Britt, that you had to learn, you actually taught a movie star run for the action
Well,
sequences.
yeah. I mean, they tried for like 5 minutes.
I can work with that on you.
Oh, could
Oh,
you?
yes, I have.
Is it a thing?
What is a movie star? Why was I not informed?
You live.
I don't know. Is that true? They gave you a movie?
It's a true thing. Yeah, our stunt coordinator, Rob Alonzo, at one point he was like, if you're going to be in this movie and you're going to be running a lot, if you want to work on it, there's the thing called the movie star run, because he worked with Tom Cruise a lot on the Mission Impossible movies. Yes, I'm telling you, this is a real thing that exists.
Well, Tom does that thing, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like high knees, and you have to get the face working.
Very good.
Lots of reaction.
Where's the camera?
That one
Sell
right
it.
there. That one right there.
Sell it.
Maybe try one. Yeah. I get it.
Something has to be blowing up behind you. Now I understand.
But you, Laurie, you got to do big fights. Had you ever done big fights before?
On film? No. No, we did have a big fight, and we trained. We got naked. We got physical on judo mats. We were put through our paces. He's in very, very good nick, by the way. However, the hazard of that was there was a moment I threw a punch at this man. I'm wearing a big sort of chunky signet ring, and I threw this punch, and it went thunk into the, or it went thunk, or actually it went into the beach. But I missed him by the thickness of a skin cell. I could have damaged the handsomest man on the planet. Oh, I know.
Good noise, everyone. Good noise.
Wait. I think we can do better than that. Let's try it again.
I was this close. It was honestly, it was. I would not have been very popular with anybody.
And now, of course, the other thing with a big science fiction fantasy film like this comes the joy of those conventions like Comic-Con. Because you all went to Comic-Con for this.
Yes, we did.
I had not been to one before. I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely extraordinary.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. But it's wonderful. I mean, to see it's passion. Seeing people so passionately enthusiastic about, or actually about anything, to see people motivated to that degree, to a sort of pitch of near lunacy, is actually terribly moving. Because the big sort of enemy in this world is sort of apathy or people going, yeah, I don't care. But these are people who care. My God, they care.
And the oddest thing is it this Comic-Con was sort of part of your honeymoon?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. Here's the thing. Now, I got a call. I was on my honeymoon, and they said, this is very important. You have to do it. Fly in, please. You have to do it. And, I had to first explain that to my wife, which didn't play well. And then the whole idea of, spending part of your honeymoon with people dressed up like Captain Kirk and Star Wars characters, somehow it's not easy to explain to your bride, to your new bride. But I showed up. And it was, I think you're right, it was really fun because they actually love, they love what they do, and it's a very passionate thing. And I've never done a film, well, I did one film, Batman and Robin, which was yes. Thank you. Which was a disaster. But other than that, there's no reason for me to have ever done anything to go to Comic-Con.
But didn't you apologise to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin?
I always apologize for Batman. Let me just say that I actually thought I destroyed the franchise until they brought it back. Somebody else brought it back years later and changed it. But, I thought at the time this was going to be a very good career move. It wasn't.
But you talk about how the suit was the enemy.
Well, the suit's brutal. At the time, particularly, it weighed 60 pounds, and it takes, you have to... there was a director named Joel Schumacher, who's a very funny man, very tall, very sort of eccentric, and he would direct with a speaker and with a microphone and a speaker. Usually directors will come up and say, hey, he'll be like, okay, and you'd hear this, giant booming voice. And I bolted into this suit. I can't move. And he would literally go, and he would direct you like as if you would have some emotional scene. He would go, okay, people, all right, George, your parents are dead. You have nothing to live for. Action. I'm Batman. And cut. Fantastic experience for me.
I deserve the clap. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Well, talking of joy, the future of fashion that's depicted in the film.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie, very bold fashion choices for you. Were you closely involved in the professor's look?
Sir Grasshopper?
That should be a cricket call.
I was involved in absolutely no measure whatsoever. The costume was cast long before I was. I think they were just looking for an actor who was a 42 long.
How about doing fight scenes in that outfit? That was the funniest thing ever.
It was absolutely extraordinary.
Out outside and you would be cold, and he made you like this cape to put over the cricket suit. It was so good.
I look like someone with sort of MC Hammer, somewhere.
It was good.
Someone in Madonna's back line.
Because the trousers look like you've got 4 hips. It's a very...
No, but that's actually accurate.
That's real.
Oh,
yeah.
excellent.
Yes, but you can't knock him over. He jumps right back up.
Mind you, you don't seem fussy about what you wear. There's pictures of you I think this is last year.
Okay, you might want to reword that.
Wait, evidence, pictorial evidence following. This is you in New Orleans for the Mardi Gras.
So
and
excited.
you've really gone all out. Now, there's...
What?
Wow, wow.
Clothes model's own.
What?
That
Royalty.
is true. That is true.
Royalty.
I was the king of Bacchus for a day. Bacchus being one of the, I think, 8 or 9 crews that parade through New Orleans during Mardi Gras. In front of, may I say, one of the biggest crowds that assembles anywhere, besides, I suppose, the Hajj. There was 1 million people on the streets of New Orleans for the
You were
Mardi Gras.
dressed like that in front of 1 million?
I was.
I'm loving it.
You're brave.
Yeah, I know.
Might need a
It's,
little more.
I can't explain it.
Were you there because of your band, because of the music?
I suppose so, because I have long spoken of, not that anyone listens, but I have been, I've been in love with the city of New Orleans for as long as I can remember. It's music, principally, but also the sort of romance of that city, and I went there and played music there and played with New Orleans musicians and sort of publicly declared my love for it. And so I suppose that must have caught somebody's eye.
No, and you brought a bunch of them here. They were amazing.
We did. Thank you for
Really,
remembering. Yes, no, we
phenomenal.
did, and it was a good night.
And George, because you are so good at everything, you
Sure.
write, well, you are, you write, you direct, you act,
Yeah,
all these
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and you have this musical heritage.
Yes. My aunt was a very famous singer named Rosemary Clooney, and she stars in a movie called White Christmas, and she was a huge pop singer in the 50s and then became a great jazz singer later on in her life. A fantastic singer. My father actually had an album and sang. My other aunt, Betty, was a famous singer and sang with the big bands. My mother has no musical skills at all, and she, how do you say this on television? Fucked the gene pool.
Was there a time when you didn't know you couldn't sing?
No, I didn't know. I thought I could sing. And then and a very successful album came from it. The fact that I didn't sing in it, which was, we were doing Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the soundtrack ended up winning the
amazing.
Album of the Year.
Incredible.
And was the biggest soundtrack for 2 years. I mean, it was a huge deal. And the Coen brothers, who were the directors, sort of assumed that I could sing because I was Rosemary Clooney's nephew. T-Bone Burnett, the very famous producer, assumed I could sing. I assumed I could sing. And then we got to the recording studio to sing Man of Constant Sorrow, and they've got the band in there, and they put you in a glass booth, and I'm like, I start, and I've really worked on it. And I finish the song, and I look up like, and everyone's looking at the ground. And I'm like, say, you suck. So I walk into the booth and they're like, well, let's play it back. And they play it back, and it sounds like a baby seal being killed. And I'm like, oh my God, it's horrible. But I didn't, I don't want to say that, And they're like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, I think it's great. We have a problem. And then I was like, okay, I get it. And they brought in a guy to do my voice and sing the song, and it was a massive hit. So they don't let me sing anywhere now.
Now, the thing I must ask you about, because when your co-stars were here
Yes.
for Monuments Men, Matt Damon...
Oh, my God, that show.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, he talked about how mean you were to him on set.
Yeah.
So, you didn't torture
I
these
didn't do
people?
Not,
No,
nothing
he was,
we know about so far.
Don't go to your hotel room.
Because famously, you have this ongoing thing with Brad Pitt.
So I've done some terrible things to Brad. Wait, Brad's done some terrible things to me, too.
So how did it start?
I don't remember how we were doing Ocean's 11. I think it was the first one, and I don't remember what it was. I think initially, I get one of my favorite things is to get those things that go around your license plate or a bumper sticker, because you never go to the back of your car and look, and put it on people's cars because it's funny and they can ride around, with some horrible, embarrassing bumper sticker. And I found a bumper sticker in the shape of a pot plant that said "fuck cops." I put it on the back of the car because I figured there's no way you don't get pulled over. I mean, there's no way. And he got pulled over. And then he went on, I think, Letterman and said, Letterman asked him when he and Angie would get married. He said, when George can legally marry in the United States. He didn't want to. And it just kept going back and forth with that for a while. And then it was, I had stationery made up with his name, and then I would send letters to other actors from Brad Pitt. I sent Meryl Streep a letter from Brad where I got a big thing of CDs that had, it was a dialect coach. And he had like every dialect, Gaelic, Yiddish, every dialect you bought in this huge thing. And I sent it to her with a note from Brad that said, I hear you're going to be doing the Iron Lady soon. This guy helped me with my dialect in Troy or something. Here, I thought maybe this would help. And I sent it to Meryl, and she's very confused. And I sent letters to lots and lots of people from Brad.
And is it you don't tell either of them?
I don't tell either, no. I later, like 2 years later, I let them know, and then they're like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm doing one now that I can't tell you about, but in a year you're going to hear that I've been arrested. I'm not kidding, because I think I've crossed the line.
Oh, no. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's exciting. I have a wife. She's a barrister. I'll be fine.
All right. Look, it has been wonderful talking to you tonight. Tomorrowland and World Beyond opens everywhere tonight. Listen at your peril. Ladies and gentlemen, please say a huge thank you to Mr. Hugh Laurie. Britt Robertson. And the one and only Mr. George Clooney. Woo. Right, it's time to pause for some music. The Dogfather is back from his new album, Bush, really. Here he is performing Peaches and Cream. Please welcome Snoop Dogg!
She got to go in. She likes that low end. And her ass is so big. Just keep it bumping. Peaches and cream. She too fly for words, and where I'm at now, too high for birds. Shorty, what you think about my return? Cause what he think about it ain't my concern. I ain't come for you, I came for your missus. I don't do it for the haters, I do it for the players. Well, okay, I do it for the bitches. But in the meantime and in between time, shorty right there, go get it. If she with it, if she ain't, then I know I brought her down. Cause the partner throwing shots every time I turn around. And the partner bringing partners every time I come to town. I'm a G6er, a made back girl. You can tell the chauffeur, he can walk it right there. And I'ma walk into the club upstairs. And when she comes down, I'ma bring it back word. Put your hands together like this one time. She likes that low end. Yeah. Damn, her ass is so big. Just keep it bumping. Peaches and cream. Uh-oh, there she goes. There's that look all on her face. Shorty dancing like she knows. She's the baddest in the place. Hey, hey, I wanna get with you. Freak, come down me now. Hey, so what you wanna do? Got a freak, I'm dressed on. Them newbies on her feet. And them bottles with the sparkles so the other girls can see that she's. Hey, I wanna get with you. Freak, don't fail me now. Hey, so what you wanna do? I came to cut right now. Big Snoop Dogg and I came to get down. Yes, I'm internationally known. Libra love and make you moan and groan. Yeah, burn my gas like race cars. Two bad bras with the bass on. I never met a girl that I wait for. I seal my deal like Jay does. All that and then some. Can't real for real when I win some. See, I remember what you're thinking. Blank shades on, drinking while you're blinking. Something fly like limousine, make a clean getaway. I love the clothes, what you about, the way you let it out. She got to go in. She likes that low end. Damn, her ass is so big. scream. Uh-oh, there she goes. That's that look all on her face. Shorty dancing like she knows she's the baddest in the place. Hey, hey, I wanna get with you. Britt, don't fail me now. Hey, so what you wanna do? Got a freak of dress on, them newbies on her feet, and them models with the sparkle so the other girls can see that she's. Hey, I wanna get with you. Britt, don't fail me now. Hey, so what you wanna do?
Snoop Dogg, everybody! Come on over here. Snoop Dogg! Oh. Beautiful, sir. Thank you very much. Have a seat there. I think that's your drink there. Snoop Dogg! And joining us in on the circle, she's a W1 A-list guest, it's Jessica Hynes! Come on in. Hello, darling. Hello. See you. Come in. Sit down. And he's literally the biggest star we've ever had in the show. It's Dwayne Johnson! Thank you so much, Snoop Dogg, for the song. We love the song. We love it. It sounds very good. Yeah. Lovely. And now, that of course from the new album Bush, which is out now. And I must say, when I got the album Bush, I wasn't sure I'd enjoy Bush, but I did like Bush.
Well,
Dwayne, fan of Bush?
actually, I love Bush quite.
Jessica,
think
where
for
do you
life-
stand on Bush?
Well, I like to think I'm a very, I have a happy bush. I encourage people to have happy bushes, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Snoop Dogg's Bush is hugely happy.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. Dwayne Johnson, that music you walked onto, did you hear it?
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
that's your music.
It is the iconic rock music. Yes.
And so, did that bring back happy memories or bad memories?
Oh, happy memories.
Oh, good.
Yes, no, I mean, I was able to do a lot of cool things. You know,
Yeah.
Snoop was there on a couple occasions. Yeah, I was able to witness it. There was a lot of ass kicking going on back then.
But we got this is the classic. I think this is sort of a classic rock pose with the eyebrow, that signature eyebrow. Look at that.
Yes.
That's
It is.
yeah. And this is the kind of the pre-match. Is this the pre-match?
Yeah, that's like it's the pre-match, it's the preamble, it's a talking trash. That is I had a catchphrase that went with.
Is that the it doesn't matter?
That's it doesn't matter.
How did it doesn't matter? Because it doesn't sound like a catchphrase. How did it work as a catchphrase?
Well, whoever I was in the ring with, and Snoop has been there on many occasions, right? So whoever I was in the ring with. So for example, if it were you and I, I'd be like, Graham, what do you think you're going to do tonight when we get in the ring?
Well, I think
It doesn't matter. What you think you're going to do? So that's how it kind of works. That's how it kind of works.
And then
It's the shouting and the bravado.
But then if you smell what the rock is cooking, how did that work then in a sentence?
Oh, well, that works in a sentence, a statement, a question. It works anywhere. It works right when you wake up, right before you go to bed. You could just say it.
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
Yeah, but you got to say it probably with a little bit like, a little
Do you
bit.
shout that one as well?
It's hard. I generally have a microphone when I'm doing it.
Well, hello. Go for it.
I don't know. They don't want to hear me do it.
I think they
Okay. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
That's what you got to do.
do. Okay.
All right, here we go. So it all starts with the bass.
Okay.
Okay. You got to open your legs a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. You got to kind of do one of these.
Yeah,
Lean
yeah.
forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Come back. If you smell. And then right here is where you got to do a little tongue thing. Okay. This is where it gets interesting. If you smell. Then at the end you got to do that. What the rock? And then there's a little pause. There's like a big pregnant pause that you have to do, right? So the audience kind of leans in a little bit. Is cooking. And then that's
Oh, there we go.
I have been waiting years to come to the Graham Norton Show to do that.
So have they. They've waited all their lives. Dear diary, finally it happened. Hey, so listen, Dwayne's huge new film, San Andreas. Posters are everywhere. It opens next Friday, the 29th of May. And, I mean, this film is epic.
It's
I mean,
massive.
it's epic. It's an earthquake movie. It harks back to those kind of Irwin Allen disaster movies.
Yes, by the way, and that was our inspiration. We wanted to make a movie that that was big and that was epic, but also hopefully raise the bar for movies like that, which is hard to do. Movies like The Towering Inferno, Earthquake, The Poseidon Adventure, Titanic, movies like that where there is a disaster involved, but there's great heart and characters, and I think we did it.
And here's the thing. Obviously, in Britain, we're so smug, quite far from any fault. No earthquakes here, thank you very much. So we can enjoy it. All of the world people can enjoy it. Is anyone in California going to go see this film? It's their house falling down. I mean, it's scary.
Yes, I mean, there's iconic places in our movie that go down.
I mean, it's normally New York that gets hit, right? I mean, you know,
Yes.
it's
And some of
normally
these-
that. So
yes.
it's going to be interesting to see, you
This
know.
is
the other side of
this
America
is-
fall off. Yeah. Where do you live, Snoop?
I live in California, and I'm definitely going to see the movie. I'm gonna see what to do in case it really happened. I'm gonna follow everything that he does, his character.
Do you have a little emergency bag under your bed for when the quake comes?
No, I really don't.
He is prepared. He may not have an earthquake bag, but he has other bags that are prepared to take care of anything.
Yeah, you can smell what the dog is smoking.
In the movie, inside of all the natural disasters, the big special effects, there is a family drama unfolding.
Sure.
Between you and your ex-wife and your daughter. And the clip we have, this is so scary. This is you and your ex-wife, and you're on the boat, and well, you'll see what's happening.
That's right.
You'll see what's happening.
Ray?
I see it! All right, hold on. We got to get over it before it crests.
I saw it in 3D. You did it all in 3D.
Yes, it's a life-changing experience in 3D. That is really one of the highest testing scenes in the whole film.
It's incredible. It really is. And so, in all those action sequences, are you one of those guys? Do you do all your own stunts, or?
I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to do a good amount of stunts because stunts are fun and, you know, they're cool. But more so, it's not really a ego thing. It's more so the audience knows I would rather tie myself into all the action so they're able to see, yes.
But no, I'm just thinking, in a stunt scene,
Yeah.
the stuntman is having a fight with you. If you hit him, you could kill him. Some member was just like, this isn't fair.
And if I miss, then the wind behind the punch will give an pneumonia, you'll die. You'll die
Good, fight and talk, fight and talk.
good line, right?
Yeah.
Like in a bar, there was one, when I first started, for example, I did The Scorpion King, and it was my very first movie, and I had this big action sequence, and I wound up hitting a stuntman and kind of clocking him super hard. He was a little older. He went down, and I felt so bad.
Not as bad as he did.
Thank God. But when you catch somebody, you know, like with a point, it doesn't feel good. So I bought him a Rolex watch, and he was. But that's how bad I felt. I felt super bad because, I mean, these guys are the backbone of our business. So I did buy him a Rolex watch.
But once that story gets out, did then stunt people just start throwing themselves at your face?
You're right, by the way. That's exactly what happened. So this story starts getting out, and there's a couple, you know, you'll get in these action sequences, and maybe guys will lean to get hit.
And because you
But, I mean, if we got into a fight, would that be worth it to you?
No.
Not
No.
at all.
No.
One punch for a
No, I
Rolex.
can tell the time right now. That's why So, if you can't do it, how do they get... Because you are so physically kind of unique looking. How do they get stunt people...
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. She's going, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Mom.
Now she's crying. How do they get like a stunt guy to look like you?
I've got a great stunt double who's actually my cousin, and we look like twins.
You do look like twins. Like that's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he kind of think, why don't I be a movie star then?
By the way, I got the smile there. That's the smile like, yeah, I'm the star of the movie. And then here's the smile like, yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked.
And this is the thing, it's the physique. I didn't realize it, that you come from, is it 3 generations of wrestlers?
3 generations, yes, of wrestlers. So my grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia, there he is right there.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Snoop knows. Thank you, guys. As a matter of fact, he started his career here in England.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He was trained by some really incredible wrestlers, shoot wrestlers. So that's my grandfather, my dad, Soul Man Rocky Johnson. He was the first. Yeah, thank you. That's my dad.
He's a huge fan of
That's my
it.
dad. Yeah, my pops was a bad dude in the game. He was the first black WWE Tag Team Champions back in
Tony
the day.
Atlas.
With Tony Atlas.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
It was written in the stars. Like, what else could you do? Like, how old are you in this picture? Look at those shoulders. Like, that's ridiculous.
I'm
It's like somebody.
15.
It's like how long?
15.
15. 15. Wow.
15, with
So
that-
you were in school looking like that.
Here's the thing. I moved from Hawaii to Nashville, Tennessee. And I went to high school. Yeah, there's Nashville.
Wow.
You're global, Grant. And so I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and at that time, 21 Jump Street, the TV show, had just popped and became popular. And when I moved to Nashville, I tried to go to high school, and they thought I was a narc. Every kid thought I was an undercover cop. I'm not kidding. So I had no friends, no play. They did. No play with the ladies, nothing. I wouldn't have gotten play anyway with that mustache, but I'm still.
I'd say play with the ladies looks quite far off when we look at this next picture of you.
That turtleneck was a style back there. They don't know about that. That turtleneck was a style.
You certainly made a statement.
I did make a statement.
You made a fashion statement.
I look like the buff lesbian is what they say. The worst part about that is that we show it. Under my elbow, because I'm protecting the turtleneck, is a tissue.
It's cashmere. Now, moving on, because congratulations, Jessica, on your BAFTA. Just won a BAFTA. Female performance in a comedy. Now, these guys, presumably, Dwayne, Snoop, you don't know W1A.
I'm a fan of WNA. I'm very well traveled.
If you had to explain it, Dwayne, just say you don't, then Jessica has to explain it.
I'm not quite too
Yeah,
familiar with it.
thanks for pretending. Yeah. And so how would you explain it to someone who didn't know it?
Well, it's kind
Unlike Snoop, who
it's a
knows
team
it.
of people who are caught up in a lot of kind of, jargonistic, kind of business jargonistic, talk, which is really where the comedy comes from. They're all really, really well-honed characters. And the first series was when they were dealing with the Olympics. There was a group of people kind of branding and dealing with the Olympics, which was 2012. And then the characters moved on. At least my character did, Siobhan's character and Hugh's character. Moved on, Ian, to the BBC. So we're kind of trying to rebrand and remarket the BBC and save it. And he's head of, what's he head of? Values. And I'm this terrible sort of, PR brand guru trying to find ideas to sell things, basically. Yeah, Jubilympics, merging the Jubilee and the Olympics, Jubilympics. That's now in the dictionary.
Snoop's getting ideas here. He's loving it. Yeah. Do you find yourself doing it in life?
No, I don't really do the catchphrases. John Morton, who's the writer of the show, he writes the catchphrases and he writes them brilliantly.
Yeah.
It's what we're looking for is an idea that you don't just want to marry, you want to take it home and fuck it. That's the kind of thing that comes out of John's brain, and it's a pleasure to. It's a pleasure to say his lines, because as a comedian, there's so few good parts.
I bet they are.
There's so few good parts, and his characters are so faultless.
And the first and second series, W1A, featuring Siobhan Shaw,
Yes.
they're out now on DVD.
They are
DVDs?
out now on DVD.
DVDs, they're
The
sort of thing.
DVDs,
Yeah,
yes.
DVDs.
I know, like-
yeah. Isn't it funny? Like,
No one buys DVDs.
DVD. Hopefully somebody will
For
buy
your
it.
video player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Laser disc. Looking good.
No, you know, obviously we're here to sell it. Please buy it.
Yeah, some people have a DVD player. Well, W1A is out now on the DVD, so let's watch a bit of the mighty Siobhan in action.
Okay. So it's like I say, like the word peanut. Okay. What are you thinking?
Peanut.
No, I said that. That's the word I just said.
Yes, no,
What are you thinking? Okay, I'll say it again. Okay, but don't think. Just say stuff. Peanut.
Monkey.
Yes, very good.
Butter.
Butter.
Peanut butter. Okay.
Brilliant.
Duh.
Well, I'm sorry, Siobhan, but I think of monkey.
Okay, there's no such thing as peanut monkey. Okay.
What?
I mean, that's like I don't even know where to start. So like peanut and butter, two things. Peanut butter, one thing.
Yes.
Yes, no, very strong.
BBC and Wimbledon, two things. BBC Wimbledon, one thing.
Yes, no, I think we've got that.
No, sure, it's like what's not to get.
Very good. Right. Snoop Dogg's new album, Bush. And a very sexy bit of PR is, of course, that the mighty Pharrell, he co-wrote... Did he co-write all the songs?
He produced the whole album.
Produced the whole album?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Now, is it true that Pharrell, he was the one encouraging you to be a bit more family-friendly, a bit more mainstream with it?
Yeah, he made me change certain words. I had a song called So Many Hoes. He made it So Many Pros.
Well, that certainly toned it down. Aren't pros just prostitutes?
No, they're professionals.
Oh, I see. Silly me. The ladies in the video still look quite like hoes.
But they're professional.
They're in a video. And then, Pharrell, is it true that he... I mean, I'm sure he enjoyed working with you, but he did have some difficulties working with you as well.
Yeah, when we were working on a particular song called California Roll, Stevie Wonder had came up to the studio, and Pharrell had called a secondhand contact from being in the studio with me, and he kind of froze. He didn't know how to produce anymore. He was stuck. He was like...
Might have to explain what the...
Yes, so Pharrell was in an environment created by Snoop. And Pharrell was no longer the same Pharrell. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
He was now someone else.
He was not the greatest producer in the world. He wasn't the greatest producer in the
He
world.
was just a guy in the room.
So was Stevie Wonder trying to talk to him?
Stevie Wonder was in the mic booth, and you know Stevie can't see, so Stevie was waiting on some direction, and Pharrell wasn't giving him no direction, so Stevie was just in there just... I'm like, well, Stevie, Pharrell said, can you sing this part? And then Pharrell said, can you play the harmonica? So I had to basically take over because Pharrell was stuck off of space cookies. He was in another planet.
And was Pharrell happy with his work on that track?
He was happy a couple of days after.
Now, listen very quickly. Snoop, do you know that you're old friends with Jessica?
We're not old friends. We met in I did a fan pic.
This is sweet. No,
Take a pic.
this is you and Snoop. Where was this?
This was when I was in LA working, and it was in the lobby of Netflix. And I ran in some Snoop, and I was like, where? And I ran in and grabbed a picture.
No, in fairness to you, though, you are a serious rap fan, aren't you? You rap.
I learned to rap with my teen friends.
You did?
But yes, I did. But
I'd
I
love
don't
to
want
hear you. Can I hear you?
Oh, well, I don't want to sing it because I don't, you know...
Just a snippet. Give us a little bit.
Snoop is the rapper here.
Give Snoop a snippet.
It's a full melody rap.
Okay, let me
And
hear it.
is that okay? Okay. I was walking down the street, rocking my beat, clapping my hands and stomping my feet when I saw a little lady so neat and petite. She was so sweet, yes, I wanted to meet her. So I asked this lady, could I take her out? We could wine and dine and talk about the birds and the bees in my waterbed. And you could treat me like a Buddha and bow your head. But we continued to talk, and before you knew it, we was at my house and it was time to do it. missing the punchline.
Okay, go for the punchline then, quick, because we were getting a snip, but really, that was more than that was a Snoop Dogg.
Well, when we'd finished, I lost my poise. I ran outside. I told all my boys. I said, listen up, fellas. Come over here. They said, did you get it? I said, yes. They said, how was it? The whole thing was dope then. You know that I rocked her. But 3 days later, go see the doctor.
Well done.
That was awesome.
There we go. Right, that's all we've got time
It
for.
doesn't matter if that's all we have.
We've got time for no time for red chairs. So please, say thank you to my guests tonight. Snoop Dogg! Jessica Hynes! Dwayne Johnson! And all my guests tonight. Join me next week with music from Florence and the Machine, comedian John Bishop, actor Jude Law, bridesmaid star Melissa McCarthy, and from Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye!